Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today we're going to be working on the 50cc scooter again. As you know, we put the big bore kit in. We're going to be adding something that's going to make it run a lot better. We're putting on a brand new exhaust. The old exhaust, unfortunately, when I was putting on the big bore kit, I tightened down one of the exhaust studs too much and it snapped off. So we're going to have to work around the snapped off stud. I have some new ones we're going to put in. Hopefully it sounds better. It looks a lot cooler. You guys will see it in a second once we head over to the workbench. I'll kind of talk about it a little more and show you what we got. But yeah, honestly, I can't believe that the exhaust that's on here has stayed on here this long because, I mean, it's been a week or so with me riding it. I'm surprised the one bolt holds on, the one stud holds on with that nut on there. I don't know how it's doing it. It sounds like garbage though, so it's basically just straight piped right to the ground. Not even piped, just open exhaust. This is the last time you guys are gonna see this exhaust on here. It's not terrible, but it's not great. And considering we have the big bore kit, it's pretty restrictive. It's a 50cc pipe, so it's really small. The diameter is tiny. We can add more flow and hopefully that'll kind of increase our top end and give us maybe a little more power and just make it run overall better with that big bore kit. So let's head over to the workbench here and show you the new exhaust. Here we have the new exhaust system. This one is from Amazon. What's new? That sounded really nice. Oh, like a sword coming out of a sheath. We didn't skimp on the price on this one. This one was like $80, I believe. $80 plus or minus $10. Not really sure, can't really remember. It'll be in the link in the description if you guys are interested in this exhaust system. So it came with a couple things. Obviously you get your tip. I'll call it a tip and I'll tell you why in a couple seconds. You get your pipe, which is actually nice. It's a lot bigger than the stock one. And then you get this piece. And I was trying to figure out what this was for a long time. I don't know what this piece is for necessarily, so if you guys can figure out what this is, because it doesn't fit anywhere, it doesn't go in here, it doesn't go over this, it doesn't fit. It fits in there a little bit, but there's no point in that because it doesn't fit onto the thing anymore. I don't know what this is. It came with the hardware to mount to your scooter, so like it has the bar that would mount to this thing. Oh, speaking of that, I actually forgot that piece to bring with, but it'll be okay. It should hang into the scooter by itself for a day. We can put the bar on later. Some of the pros about this. Everything seems to be really nice, like quality compared to the previous exhaust system. Obviously, it's just the stock pipe and then that cheap muffler. I love the finish on this thing once it gets wiped down from all my dirty fingerprints. It's really like nice. Like the welds on this thing are really well done. And then it's got like a silencer or a baffle in here. It's held in by this screw. The material itself is really nice. It looks cool. So those are two things it's got going for it. We don't know what it's gonna sound like yet, obviously, so we can't decide if we like it or not. There's a couple things that I'm curious about. It could be a con, but they're not really, because it probably isn't gonna affect anything. On Amazon, it had a bunch of options for different style tips. So I'm assuming they use the same pipe and then the tips are all different, or like the slip-on mufflers, I guess you would call them. What we ended up getting with our pipe is these two spring-like loops, an exhaust system that would have another set of loops on this side, and then there would be springs that hold this thing on rather than a band clamp or in addition to a band clamp. And that is kind of interesting that it doesn't have them on here for some reason. It doesn't have the loops. Maybe we're missing that. I don't know, maybe this is a defective part. In the mail, it came with this piece that is dented. Now, normally people would probably return it for this, but this to me is not a big deal. It's just, you bend it back and it's fine. So that's one thing I noticed. Also, the finish on the pipe itself. Down here is pretty good. The welds on this are not nearly as good. There's some ugly welding going on here, but it's okay. You know what? It's shiny and that makes up for the bad welds, but then there's a lot of burrs right where it would connect to the head. So all of these minor little things I'm not worried about. The one big downside to this thing that I have found is that there is no packing inside of this pipe. It is just a tip with a baffle. So this is going to be straight piped and hopefully this baffle will do enough. Maybe we'll have to test it. We'll test it with the baffle and then, you know, we'll hurt some people's ears when we take out the baffle and ride around and we'll see, you know, what it sounds like. It should be kind of fun. We also bought this on Amazon as well. You can buy exhaust stud kits, and this one, we haven't opened it yet. So maybe we'll be surprised and it'll be the wrong stuff. So it comes with a new like copper, I guess, gasket. Then it also comes with an actual gasket, and I'm gonna use this one and not that one. This seems like a lot better option to me. And then it came with new studs. One other thing I should go over, there was some comments. Now I think this exhaust is set up for like a ruckus. We'll see what happens when I take it off. Hopefully we don't have to like cut and weld anything. I mean, if we have to, not a big deal, we've done it before, but hopefully this all kind of works in one piece without too many issues. Let's get the scooter over here and we'll start working on it. Looking at this a little bit, it's gonna be kind of difficult to get any tools up in there. So we're gonna take off these side plastics so we got a little more room to work. And then we're gonna take off the muffler and the exhaust so we can compare if we need to cut and weld the new bit into that flange area so we have enough space. I have the old exhaust out here, and as you can see, the reviews were correct on Amazon. This pipe is way taller right here. So this won't fit, it doesn't clear the main kickstand. I gotta find a piece of pipe, and then I gotta cut, and then weld. So now the trick is to find the right size pipe in our scrap cooler. Too small looking. So, this looks like slightly bigger, does it fit? It might work. We're gonna use this pipe. This is it, this is the pipe we're using. All right, so I'm gonna cut a small piece off of here, probably 3 inches. And we'll just be safe with 3 inches. I think that would be plenty. So, keep in mind, if you do not have the capability, this pipe probably won't work for you. So we got our new piece of pipe sitting in there, and this will just sit on top like so. I think it'll work. I've been getting a little bit of work done. The exhaust is kind of in a shape that it's gonna be in. The pipe's not cut perfect, but it'll work. It'll do the job. So we got enough distance there, it clears. That's the stud that's snapped off right there. And I just put a vice grip on this and it did turn, so it's coming out. We'll get it all put back together, but that is kind of what I'm working with right here. Just getting this stud out and then getting the new one in. Boom. Look at that, got the broken stud out. Luckily, it was sticking up quite a bit, so we were good to go. We got 2 more, so I mean, if we break one, not a big deal. It's finally happening. The exhaust is put on, the stud is in. I had to do a little extra cutting because this was actually sticking out like outwards about 1 inch too much. It's not perfect. I can always fix it. I can always cut it and like angle it back. Let me get the clamp on here and then we will turn it on and see what it sounds like. This is the first start with the new exhaust. Oh man, I got so excited I forgot to put the key in the ignition. Holy cow. Okay. Oh, it needs some of the muffler packing in there 100%, but this is what we're gonna run for a little while, guys. Oh my goodness, that is hilariously loud. At least it doesn't leak and it all comes out the exhaust instead of like that one. Let me get the scooter the rest of the way put together and we'll take it for a cruise, I guess. It's super, super loud. It runs exactly the same as it did before with the other pipes, so that's good. Now that it's not restricted, like at all, we might be able to maybe put in a bigger jet. Since we have a little more flow now, maybe that would help out on the higher end so it's not like leaning out. Mason just got back to the shop, so now we're taking up the hold on, silencer. What?
I gotta cover up my fucking head.
Okay, he's nervous about his head for some reason now. You better now?
Yes.
Okay.
if this thing's in there properly, it works.
Okay.
And then it goes like that too, so it's like a horn.
Let's try to do a burnout. Hold it.
Oh yeah, that's right, burnout.
Oh my god. You dented my wood wall.
I got a little bit too crazy. I got
You
ambitious.
slow-mo that?
Yeah.
Either that gave a lot or that gave a lot.
Both. Good thing it wasn't my forehead that
You
gave
were
a
doing
lot.
a good wheelie into the wall there.
I can't just leave on running into the wall.
Hey, don't aim for the car. If you're gonna hit anything, hit the lift. This is my first time seeing it, so.
That is much shinier. Did you already talk about the spring?
Yeah, I went over the pros and cons of the whole operation. It does water burnout.
So did you measure that twice and?
Just eyeballing the hell out of it. What's this made of?
This might actually be stainless.
It's getting somewhere.
Look at that.
Got the second hole drilled, and the silencer is actually pushed all the way in now. I guess I didn't really pay attention to that before. So the silencer was like in there, but it was just tightened off to one side of the pipe. So it wasn't actually like sealing off the pipe. So this should be quite a bit quieter with no leak. We're just gonna tighten up this little Allen bolt, stick it back on. You guys heard what it sounded like before when Mason put it on, so we don't have to show you that. As always, guys, thank you for watching. We appreciate you, and we'll see you next time.
Ice in my veins, I've been driving this train. Years in this lane, there's no stopping this flame. Cause I came to the game and I changed it to play how I like, rearranged it to my own domain. Yeah, I got what it takes, made lots of mistakes.